Hello, everybody. Take two. I think I'm on all the platforms. I promise I will figure it out. I have no idea how long it will take, but I'm going to keep going because I love sharing what's coming up for me and I love contributing and I'm getting a lot of feedback of how this is helping people. So I'm going to keep going. This is my mostly Mondays with Megs. And what I mean by that is I noticed that for myself, it works better for me to follow the energy. And so I want to come in a consistent way and I want to also follow the energy. So I'm going to be, I'm going to be doing something next week that I hope you're going to join me for at this time. And then I'm going to be on a cruise. So it'll be a couple weeks before I am here again. Today I want to talk about, we have been talking about the theme of self-esteem, confidence, and self-love. And I don't think we could talk enough about this. And I'm going to keep talking about it in different forms and different platforms. So I just want to let you guys know that today I'm going to be talking about morning routines. Now, what does that have to do with self-esteem? Well, as it turns out, I don't know how many of you have ever woken up in the morning like you have a pile of poo in your head. For those of us who are a little bit more energetically sensitive, it's really, really common to wake up kind of like, So there's a lot of reasons for that, which I'm going to be talking about in my upcoming program, Mornings with Megs. And what can we do about it? What can we do to activate and start our days in very dynamic ways? Okay, so one of what I believe self-esteem is basically having access to our natural power, like our natural, and what is power? Energy, right? If you got no energy, if you're on a hospital bed, it's really hard to wield power, right? So the amount of energy that we have access to, not just physically, but energetically, and we have access to infinite energy in the universe. Today, specifically, I'm going to talk about the energy of our bodies. So I looked this up so I could be all sciencey and shit for you. So every cell has 1.4 volts of electricity. Now, that's not that exciting in of itself, but when you consider that you have 50 trillion cells, okay, and each cell has, hello, Chinogram, and each sister, hello, and each cell, welcome to my morning podcast, my Monday's podcast. Each cell has 1.4 volts, but there's 50 trillion cells in your body. 50 trillion. That's more than there are stars in the universe. You have more cells in your body than stars in the universe. Kind of consider that for a minute. So guess what? That equals, you want to, who out there is an accountant? Who does math? Basically, guess what? That is equal to 70 billion volts of electricity. Well, actually, it's more than that because it's the same energy as 70 billion bolts of lightning. 70 billion bolts of lightning. That's how much energy is in your body. For reals, kids, we should never be tired. We should never be tired, but we're not taught how to access that energy. So back to what I was saying. So a lot of people who suffer with sort of low self-image, what's really going on is they don't have access to their energy. Now, they may have been exposed to some trauma at an early age, or maybe some trauma ongoing in their life. So what happens is that the suppressed, stuck, unresolved emotional energy gets stuck in the system, it gets stuck in the body, and it slows down the flow in the body. Okay, so that's the first thing. First of all, we're not taught. We're taught that, that we have a limited amount of energy. And we're taught that, sometimes when we were little kids, we had this unbounded energy. Like I was raised by my grandma And she was super tired. I was the 14th child. Okay. So she was a bit tired. And I had this unbounded energy that as a little girl, I tended to manage because I didn't, because she was tired. I didn't want to be too much. How many of you have been managing your energy because you're too much? And for some of us, so there's all these constructs about energy being limited, about the energy we have in our bodies and access to in our bodies being limited. And I think that if we have 70 billion bolts of lightning worth of energy accessible to us, we can maybe activate 1 or 2 bolts of lightning in our lifetime, right? And maybe create it sustainably through our life. So one of the very interesting ways that we can get a stronger sense of self, a stronger sense of empowerment. What's the word empowerment, right? Is to have access to our power. But what is power, right? Power is actually energy, and the willingness to direct that energy, the willingness to direct that energy. So how much of your 70 billion lightning bolts are you accessing right now? Okay. So work in progress, boys and girls. One of the most valuable things that I have done is to have this morning routine where, number one, I'm clearing out any clutter from the night before, because for those of us that wake up feeling tired and like we have a pile of poo, no matter how much sleep we have, it's generally because we're picking up emotions and negative energy in the ether. So we got to clear that out. Okay. And then doing things like breath and movement to activate ourselves, to activate the energy in ourselves, and to align physically, energetically, and physically, energetically, spiritually, and emotionally to what it is that you'd like to create, and to actually utilize. Once you activate the energy in your body, you want to utilize that to pull to you and to express from you your greatest desire for the day. So we're going to do a mini one today. I'm going to show you just very simply. And then I'm going to invite you to join me for a week of morning routines, which will be very, very fun. We'll do them live. Well, I'll do 5 of them live, and you'll get 3 bonus routines in your library so that you can play with it. But here's the thing, there's a lot of really weird, not weird, but there's just a lot of information about what we should be doing in the morning. Now, you know, a lot of the leadership people I follow tend to sort of have this idea that that everybody should be doing 3 hours worth of a morning routine every day. When you can, great. Like there are times like on the weekends or something that I really take a lot of time to center and get my energy and do my qigong and do my breath work and journal and read. And it's really amazing. And I also, so I love that. And I have a couple of clients who are like the Navy SEALs type, who they get up at the 4:30 a.m. and they do their 3 hours of morning routine. That's never been me. I did try that for a while because I try everything, right? It's like, how's that work for me? And I just felt tired all day because I woke up at 4:30. So, but I believe, so in the mornings with Megs, I'm going to be doing several different lengths of routines. Today, I'm going to do 5-minute routine with you. Okay. But 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, so that you can do it no matter what. Because if you remember what I said a few weeks ago on the podcast about confidence, confidence is the ability to keep your word to yourself. And as soon as you say you're going to do something and you don't, you take a deposit from self-confidence within yourself. So for me, in terms of utilizing this to activate your power, to activate the energy, to start bringing to you, to manifest the day that you want to have, the life that you want to have, it's more important to commit to something you know you'll absolutely do. Because if you're buying the idea that you have to do an hour or 2 hours a day and you're only doing it 20% of the time, that withdrawal from your self-confidence is actually worse than if you just did 15 minutes and you kept your word to yourself. Okay. So more important to choose things and to commit to things that you know absolutely that you will do. Now, if you want to do more, then you can. That's why I'm going to do some longer routines, right? So if you have more time and it feels really good, you can keep going. There's nothing to say that you can't keep going, but initially you want to commit to something small, something that you'll do, something that you will follow through with. Okay. So manifest. I'm going to talk just a second about manifesting. Is one of my favorite things. By the way, if you're in the St. George area, I'm going to be at Innovators Plaza tomorrow night talking about the financial element at 7:00. You can go to my Facebook page. It's all over my Facebook page to get information about that. I think it's being live streamed too, so you can maybe watch it from wherever you are. But manifesting is one of my favorite things. One of the biggest things people miss in manifesting is they tend to do it from their head. They tend to do vision boards, visualization, all of that. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. Although using image is it can be a little bit limiting because we can only see what we've already experienced. So it's creating from the past. I think that creating from the energetic awareness of the life we want to sense and to live, and to actually start to choose things that are a match for that energy is much more cutting edge, and you'll start to bring in more new things that way. Now, for those of you who are visual, do not dishearten. What I do with my visual people is I have them use visuals to access energy, and I allow them I give them tools to not limit themselves by the visual, but to use it to expand into the energetics, because our first language, boys and girls, is energy. Our first language is energy, and we are very aware of energetics, whether we want to know it or not. So how about we use that in our favor? How about we activate the energy of the body and we use that in our favor? Okay. So, the other piece about manifesting is we want to have access to our physical energy, not just our mental energy, because our body is magnetic. Our brains are more electric. Thoughts are run on that sort of current, electrical current. So thoughts go out like this. But if our thoughts are only going out, what's pulling in? Your body has to be activated and in line with your mind to pull in what it is that you say that you want. Okay. So what is missing from a lot of morning routines is I noticed that even of our Navy SEALs people, they're doing this workout, right? They're doing their push-ups and their sit-ups and they're running and all that. And then they come back and they journal. My interesting point of view is if in the world of manifesting, like obviously, big fan of moving our bodies like all through the day, not just in the morning. But what I like to do is I like to use the body to activate some of those 50 trillion cells and some of that lightning bolt, so that when we start looking at what do we want to create today, we kept coming up into more of our mental awareness, that it's powered. It has the power of our physical bodies. And then we put the signal out like the radio tower, and our body is that magnetic receiver and it starts pulling in. It's important that all of those things line up. So wondering what your morning routines have been. I wonder what your manifesting routines have been. And I will say that this is going to be the mornings with Megs. It's going to be very, very different than probably anything you've ever done. But I find that it's very efficient to bring all of that together to go, big pow, this is what I want. And you're super charged up. You're super aligned with what you want to create during the day. And one of the other things that I suggest with my private clients is that if they've already got that morning routine lined up and it's really working for them, I don't like to mess with what's already working for people. But one of the things that I notice with those people is they tend to be burnt out by 1:00. And so what I like to do is take 5 minutes every hour to do something, to do some breath, to do some jumping jacks, to run around the block, to reset to my intention. Like, okay, my intention was to feel joy today and I'm in a pile of poo. What can I do about that? How do I reset it? going to do one routine that's a reset routine so that you can use throughout the day to get yourself and back, because everything comes from energy, boys and girls. Everything is created from and with energy, and where your energy is at is freaking everything. So you want to make sure that you're aligned with what it is you want to create in the day, and what it is that you want to attract, what it is that you want to bring in, and you want to have enough energy to facilitate the actions required to move something forward. Okay, so are we having any fun yet? So if you've just joined me, you have joined the podcast Mondays with Megs, and I'm talking about how morning routines really help to activate our personal power, and therefore our esteem and our confidence. If you literally just committed to 10-minute morning routine, if you don't have a morning routine right now, and you committed to doing 10 minutes a day of some of the stuff I'm going to be sharing and talking about, it would change the way you feel about yourself. It would change your confidence in what you feel you can achieve and what you can feel you do. You will start attracting things will start coming in easier to your life. This stuff is magic, you guys, but I think that people have made it be like, so many voices out there are talking about these really complicated things, and it doesn't have to be complicated. It can be so simple. So without further ado, I'm just going to do something really simple today to help you activate your energy. Now, I will be sharing some tools that maybe some of you know. I have dozens and dozens of breath practices, and some of them you may know. There's other practices I don't think anybody will know. If you follow Access Consciousness, you know about energy pulls. I'll be pulling those in, but I will be doing everything in combination and in a way that you might not have done before, because it's really about bringing mind, body, and your energy and your emotional energy on tap and aligning it together. So I'm going to put things together that most people aren't putting together, so that you're turned on and turned up for the day. Okay, so here is one of the most important things that you can do is start your morning with breath, because it activates your cells, it feeds your mitochondria. It's amazing for longevity, and it doesn't have to be hard. A lot of people, when they think about breathing, they think about holotropic breath, which is laying in a room for an hour and breathing your guts out and doing a big cathartic release. That's awesome if you can do that, but that's a little different type. I'm using breath to activate your cells. I'm doing it to help you access the energy that then you can then put out into the world and create with. Okay, so today we're just going to do super simple breath, and you might have heard it before. It's a box breath. So what you're going to do is you're going to breathe in for 4 counts, hold for 4 counts, breathe out for 4 counts, hold for 4 counts, and you're going to do that 4 times. So 16 rounds of 4 counts, okay? Will give you what you need. So if you guys want to start that, I invite you to start that for yourself while I'm talking, because I can't breathe and do this podcast in the same way. So just really quickly, you're going to breathe in for 4, hold for 4, release for 4, and hold for 4. Now, I actually like to breathe deeper, so I do 5 count in my box breath. Okay. Now, I'm going to add a little fun thing that a lot of people don't add in their box breath. When you breathe in, I want you to imagine that you're pulling the sun down into your body. So you're feeding the cells of your body with the sun. So on the in breath, you're pulling in the energy of sun, and you're letting it move throughout your whole body. Okay. There you go. There, yeah. So, and if you're just on your phone, go stand outside in the sun. There's a lot of it in Utah, I have to say. Okay, so while you're doing that, I want you to take a particular state of being that you would like to have be your focus today, like joy, inspiration, creativity. Maybe you just want to be highly energetic today. Maybe that's why you tuned in. Okay, so as you're doing the box breath, simply go, what would I like my focus to be today? What is the main energy signature I want to put out in the world today? Now, remember this, so many people are trying to manifest stuff, right? But the stuff is a result of the energy that we're in. So like we're focused on, oh, I want a new car, I want to do this. But actually focusing on gratitude, focusing on joy, focusing on generosity of spirit, focusing on inspiration, creativity, action taking, all of that as actually the generative energy that pulls the stuff to us. So you want to start your day with a signature energy. What do you want to start your day with? Okay. What am I going to do today? Okay. I want to feel my signature focus today is inspiration. And you know what's really cool? Are you still breathing? Keep doing that. What's cool about inspiration is that it actually is very connected to the breath. When we breathe in, we are inspiring. When we breathe out, we're expiring, right? So we can use conscious breath to activate inspiration. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to use my conscious breath to keep bringing me back to that inspiration energy. Okay. So so in the realm of state of being, because it's the intrinsic energy, is the invisible energy, and we can generate it by our choosing, right? We are not at the manifesting level to be able to do this and pull in a Porsche, right? I'm not. Maybe some of you are, if you are, cool, right? And I mean instantaneously like that, right? So so we're not necessarily at that place, but what we can do is we can start to become the energy that those kinds of things naturally come to. Those types of things naturally are attracted to. Okay. So you want to align with inspiration or joy or whatever it is. Okay, cool. And what kind of a day would you like to have? Right? So you want to come from, I'm going to use me, coming from inspiration. What I'd like to pull to myself, because now we're activating that physical energy. Okay. Now I want you to start pulling to yourself experiences that you want to have. So for me, I want to create an ease of facilitating and moving my projects forward. I want to just have it be natural and simple and fun and easy. And I want to be surprised at how things can come together. That's what I'm putting out into the universe. So what I want to do after I've done my breath and after I've connected to that main energy I want to be, is I'm going to cast a net. I'm going to cast an energetic net out, and as big as the world, as big as the universe. I'm going to cast that energetic net, and I'm going to pull on that, pull on those threads, and start energetically pulling to me experiences and people that support inspiration, that support ease of facilitation of movement. I want to bring that into my body. Okay. Casting my net. Now, for those of you who want to engage your body, if I stand up, I'm going to miss the camera. So I'm going to pretend I'm standing up here. Okay. So with that net, you can add a little body movement of just like, as you cast the net out, bring the energy in to your heart as you're continuing to do the box breath. Take your arms out and bring the energy down into your center. It's the second energy center, which is down there. Okay. It's in Eastern medicine, in Qigong, it's called the Lord Dantian. You might know it as the second chakra. But as you scoop, bring it into your heart. So you want to bring that energy that you're pulling from all over the universe that is going to support your intention today. You're going to move it into your heart. And then you're going to do a second scoop and move it into that second energy center. That's where we create and manifest from. So what you're doing is you're kind of anchoring into the body that receptivity of all that you're asking for from the day. Beautiful. So simple. I think that was 8 minutes, you know? So on the YouTube channel, I'm going to put the link. I just discovered that when you put links on Facebook, that they stop showing it to people. So the link for the program will not be on Facebook. It's going to be on my YouTube channel. Go under podcasts under this this particular podcast, and the link to Mornings with Megs will be there. I'll also be posting it on my timeline probably later this week. And again, it's 7 days of morning routines, doing it with me. How fun is that? Also, if you've been looking at the self-esteem event, I still have some tickets available. It's this weekend, Friday night and Saturday. Self-esteem is sexy. We're going to be going through the body. The thing is most people are doing self-esteem work up here, and your mind will always fight with you. You've got to actually create experiences of true self and to embody true self. And then the conversation about whether you're worthy or not begins to dissipate. And that's what we're looking for. So I am going to be off for the next couple of weeks. Next Monday at this time, I'm going to be doing a morning routine if you're joining me for those. And I will see you in a couple of weeks. Thanks for your attention.